involved in WAEF because our family is very oriented to giving scholarships. And so when I had this opportunity to join the board, I decided this would be a great fit for me.
I think that one of the things that I really appreciated about WAEF and the whole philosophy that we're giving back to the students is that when we give a scholarship, it shows that we have respect for that person. And lots of times when a student knows that they are respected and cared about, that will give them a lot of impetus to get their education. And I think it goes a long way in speaking well of WAEF, that we have a lot of respect for everybody that we give a scholarship for. When my dad established his scholarship, the very first thing he did was when he turned 70 years old, he said to me, he said, I'm donating 1 month of my Social Security, and we're going to go up to the Natchez High School, and we're going to talk to the ag teacher, and we're going to give it away to some students. And so we went up there, and then he said, I don't need to give it to the 4-point student. I want to give it to someone that it makes a difference. And we didn't have to follow any rules and regulations back in those days. So we just selected students that probably would never have gotten anything else. And many of those students have come back to us and said, because you believed in us, that we decided to go through school. And that was really special, and that's what my dad wanted. So as time went by, we decided that we would just go ahead and put a lump sum in the Washington Apple. And so my dad has that scholarship, and it always is very meaningful because we can either give it to a Natchez student. We kind of like to have it with maybe somebody going into ag, but also we've expanded it and said that if you do work for Allen Brothers, then you would qualify. So it's something that is kind of a legacy to him. And actually it was to my mom, because they both felt very strongly about education and supporting the students in our community. Award my dad's scholarship to a student is always very heartwarming, because I know that my dad's and mom's dream is something that is, carried on. Washington fruit. I still do interviews. And there you have the experience of when you're doing an interview, you see a student in a different perspective than what you see on paper. And sometimes we had one that was maybe, we weren't sure. And then after we talked to her, we realized that she was really a good candidate and that, that she would be successful. But you learn so much more about the student. So, and that you had that question last year, what's your superhero? And so they were all explaining this. And then at the end, the young man says, so Ruth, what is your superhero? And I go, And I said, well, it's not a superhero. It's a concept. And I said, it's a respect. That's my big thing. Respect, that if we would respect everyone, then our world would be a better place. And I said, if you have respect for yourself and respect for the people you work with, then we could get a lot farther in our society. It was a great 18 years. And I felt like all my time that I spent on the board was very worthwhile, and it was for something that I felt that we made a lot of progress on fulfilling the mission of WAEF that we gave back to our people that are in the industry. And well, the other thing is, I just remember too, is my dad always said when we were kids that we were no better than anyone, and that we were always to treat everybody the same. And I think that was kind of a grounding thing, that everybody's a human being and everybody has qualities and everybody has a lot of things that they're good at, and we need to look at everyone and see the positive part of people.